So we were talking about North Korea.
Yeah, so now let's talk about some of the things that the Supreme Court's done. They did. We can talk on the travel ban first. They also talked about DACA. We can go over that later.
So the travel ban being upheld by the Supreme Court was kind of nuts. In my opinion...
But it wasn't the same travel ban as it was the first time.
No, because they changed it whenever they realized it was going to go to the Supreme Court.
Well, they changed it because it was a Muslim person ban, because you had Christian people that could get here, but not Muslim people.
And then they changed it to shithole country ban or something.
Well, the shithole country thing is a whole nother
it was a
Eskimo.
joke. My point is...
Yeah.
But my point is like, they changed it to an international...
Right. Well, and it was Well, they did. They added North Korea and Chad, right? That aren't Muslim majority countries. So it was like, it's not a Muslim ban. So
I want to say they solidified a little bit of the dialogue, or not the dialogue, the verbiage, so that it's not someone of a certain faith or a certain person. It's the country.
Right, specifically the country. Work visas are allowed, and if you've already got a green card from that country, you're allowed, and that's it. No refugees. We're not taking anybody like that.
So anyone out there that is on the left that is going, what the fuck did the Supreme Court do? Let me make this clear. The Supreme Court has one job, and that is making sure that the United States Constitution is upheld.
And in Article 2 of the Constitution...
like to say so.
Article 2 of the Constitution is There's a clause in it where if the president thinks that our national security is at risk, he is allowed to do whatever he thinks necessary, right? Because a lot of people on the left don't either realize it or know it, but Obama did the same thing in 2010, right? It wasn't as broad, and it wasn't as sweeping. It was just Syria and Iraq, maybe, just places where ISIS was.
And a few other countries.
No, not ISIS. I'm sorry, ISIS wasn't there yet.
No. That was 2012.
2012, right, correct.
But no, those countries were more of a.
Maybe Obama did it.
Because that brought up the whole argument about Syrian refugees. That's what started it.
Right.
Because our nation's policy towards it was established under Obama, and everyone just kind of didn't realize that was the case until we were
The Syrian war started in 2011, so it would have had to have been around that time.
Right. My point being that what Obama did as far as travel bans go, is you're looking at Syria and predominantly Syrian, individuals, because we were trying to keep out Syrian refugees. We didn't want the Syrian war spilling over, blah blah blah.
Right.
And the other thing was that we were currently bombing Yemen and Libya.
Libya was the big thing.
We were a couple other entities that were.
For the people who say Obama wasn't a war hawk, dude.
Right. We were actively trying to keep out anyone that would be coming over here holding a chip on their shoulder.
Right.
Some sort of grudge against us.
And there's also precedent. There's also precedent in not doing this. Lyndon B. Johnson signed. It was an immigration act, something to that effect, and it kind of put that power back into the legislative hands. But I don't remember if that was a executive order, or I think it was just an executive order, which is obviously changes from president to president. So that's the precedent that the left tries to use to say that this is not okay. But the Constitution is the Constitution, right? So technically, Trump had the right to do it. But if you look at his campaign, dude, he was talking about making Muslims fucking register. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah. I was going to say, do we need to have them wear a patch that shows the moon and the star as well?
Let's be honest. Look, I am not a Muslim. I am a Christian. I'm a Catholic. But I do not believe that the majority of Muslims want to kill me and my family in a holy war. And if you do, then you're...
Read some more.
Yeah, you're out of touch.
Please, just go read some more.
Don't cherry pick the Quran in the same way other people cherry pick the Bible.
Let's be fucking honest for a second. I don't mean to kind of really attack the right, but while we're sucking the Don's D a little bit, this international policy, let me get off my knees for a second and yell at something. If you are one of those holier-than-thou Christians that gets your entire international and domestic perspective on a political scale from Fox News, and you think, therefore, you have some sort of knowledge and can say with all of your pride and whatever backing it, the value of your word is stemming from these notions, and you can say that every Muslim, it is in the Quran, they absolutely have for thousands of years been against us and want nothing more than to wipe us off the planet and blah blah blah, then I'm telling you right now, I will not listen to your arguments because they fall on deaf ears. You do not educate yourself. You do not educate yourself.
You have to look it up from an objective standpoint, right? The Muslim religion is a religion that teaches to. It doesn't teach to turn the other cheek, right? It's supposed to lift up the humble, or lift up the meek and humble the powerful, right? It's a religion that is meant to, it teaches if you do not defend yourself, you are sinning against God. That is a sin in the Quran, right?
Right, and from a historical perspective, this was written at a time where these people were at war, and the war they were fighting was an invasionary war. It was not one that they stoked themselves.
Well, so they kept trying to kill Muhammad, so when he finally got some power, he went back and did what he said he would do initially.
Right, and I don't want to dive too much into it.
Fair enough.
But if anything of what we're talking about doesn't ring a bell to you, and you don't know what we're talking about,
it's because
then I'm talking to you when I say go read a fucking book that is not, right there in line with your current values and views.
Step out of your comfort zone. You'll learn a lot.
A
couple years ago, I didn't understand Islam, but I also knew that Muslim people weren't just inherently evil. You know what I mean? I wanted to know why.
If you do, then you are brainwashed.
Exactly.
Again, I'm talking to you.
Right, you're being indoctrinated by Fox News.
Right.
That's not to say there aren't bad Muslims, but at the same time, there are bad Christians. There are bad Jews. There are bad Buddhists. Everybody has a sect in history or currently that ain't fucking good.
Fucked up people do fucked up shit.
Thank you for using my slogan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But no, back to the point. We are the United States of America, right? Land of the free, home of the brave. You enact a Muslim ban, because that's what you called it during your campaign. You enact a fucking Muslim ban to keep a specific sect of people out of this country. A specific sect of people who are trying to escape war, right? There are millions dead in Syria, millions dead in Iraq, because of the United States military in Iraq as well. Right? There is millions dead in Afghanistan. There are millions dead in the Middle East as a whole. There are families, Christian and Muslim, that are trying to escape that. Now, going back to what I just said, we are the land of the free and the home of the brave. And when you decide that people can't come here to escape terror, because that's what it is, you are going completely against what the Founding Fathers wanted, in my opinion.
Oh, no, here's the thing. I agree with you. There is a sentiment that I'm going to echo. It's the 10 for every 10,000 argument. If I hand you I want to say when I first heard this, it was like a barrel of apples, but you could make it a jar of jelly beans, I guess.
Go on.
Condense it a little bit.
Go on.
If I give you a jar of jelly beans, I can tell you there are 10,000 jelly beans, maybe fucking 1,000 jelly beans in here. So if I give you 1,000 jelly beans and I tell you one of those jelly beans out of that 1,000 will kill you, there is no saving grace, there is no antidote, it is not a joke. One of those jelly beans, if you eat it, will straight up kill you. Now, grab a fistful and try it out. You wouldn't do that. No one would. Like, you could be,
right, but we're not talking about jelly beans.
No, we're not talking about jelly beans. But the argument is that 1 for every 1,000 or 10 for every 10,000 are terrorists or have a malicious intent towards the United States or as Christians as a whole. And that argument holds. Unfortunately, with logic applied, it holds.
It does.
There are that 10% or that 1% or less that
because it is
okay,
1% or less.
Excuse me, it's like 0.1% to be honest. Right? No. Let's go there for real quick. And when I'm saying 10 out of every 10,000 or 1 out of every 1,000, that means 1/1,000. So I want to say that's 0.1 or 0.01%.
Something like that. Yeah.
It is small. You insult my math skills all you want. My point being is it is a infinitely small number. However, what we're saying in truth is that you have that small number, and then we also fear that maybe some of those not poison jelly beans, some of those not extremist terrorist refugees, may become a little bit extremist on the way over here.
Okay, so since there are some pit bulls that kill people, we should put all pit bulls down. And also, since there are some Catholic priests that touch little boys, we should arrest all Catholic priests and stop them from doing their jobs. And you know what, while we're at it, while there are some politicians that don't do their job the right way, we should just fire them all and let us all vote on it.
Wait, no, I agree with the last one.
Okay, but the point I'm making is, you know what, and while we're at it, mostly white people are the ones doing all these shootings, so round us all up and put us all in fucking jail.
Hell yeah.
Do you see my point?
Yes, I see your point.
Okay,
and I gave you the silent applause for a reason.
Look, fucked up people do fucked up shit. There's going to be that element no matter where you go in the world, no matter what part of history that you have.
No matter what values you hold,
it doesn't
no matter what
matter.
religious
This guy that
values.
burned down the abortion clinic up the street killed a couple people when he did it, and he thought he was doing it in the name of Jesus Christ. Where in the Bible did it say to do anything like that?
Yeah, burn thy enemies alive, says the Lord.
Yeah, no, that never happened, right? It doesn't add up. You say it holds water, but technically speaking, it does.
When it comes to logic,
right? But you can apply that same logic to everything I just said, and it would hold water.
That was the reason I brought it up. Was because if you're going to apply that logic and you're going to defend the idea that we are worried about, less than 1% of the individuals that are in crisis that we could absolutely house and fund to keep alive. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, to keep the fuck alive. You're worried about less than 1% of them being sour apples.
Right.
Well, on top of that, I believe that the real reason is not that you're worried about less than 1%. You're worried that a good chunk of them could be coming over and realize, also through logic, that, hey, the reason we're seeking refuge is because of your military action or your imperialist action, however, neocon, however you want to put it. And we might be afraid that some of these people realize that and come over here saying, wait a minute, no, we're not a part of this tribe, we're a part of the other one.
The jihadist tribe.
No.
Oh.
It wouldn't be jihad at that point, it would be simple fucking revenge.
Yeah.